The morning sun lit up the park with a gentle glow. Families jogged past, kids played by the fountains, and in the middle of it all stood an elderly man dressed in a simple white Tai Chi uniform. His movements were slow, deliberate, almost like a dance with the wind. No one watching knew that he was a billionaire. A man who owned tech companies, real estate, and more wealth than anyone in that park could imagine. Yet, he came here every morning, not with bodyguards, not with business suits, just a man, flowing with the rhythm of Tai Chi. Across the field, a tall, broad-shouldered man watched silently. His name was Jack. A single dad, a veteran who had served 2 tours overseas. Life had been harder since he came back. Bills piled up, odd jobs came and went, and his only constant joy was his little girl, Lily, who sat nearby with her sketchbook. Jack admired the old man's discipline. Something about the way he moved reminded him of the calm he used to search for in the middle of chaos. But he never expected the man to notice him. That morning, the billionaire did. He finished his set, looked straight at Jack, and with a warm smile said, "Would you like to spar? Just for fun." The park went silent. People turned their heads. Spar? With him? The old man looked fragile. Jack, trained in combat, didn't want to hurt anyone. "I don't think that's a good idea," Jack said with a half-smile. But the old man only bowed gently. Tai Chi isn't about fighting. It's about harmony. Humor me. Jack finally agreed, if only to be polite. Lily cheered from the bench, her eyes wide. At first, Jack held back. He moved cautiously, testing. But every time he stepped forward, the billionaire shifted, redirecting his energy as if Jack's strength dissolved into air. There were no punches, no strikes, only balance, softness, and surprising power hidden in stillness. Within minutes, Jack found himself, smiling. For the first time in years, his body wasn't bracing for survival, it was flowing. He felt something he hadn't since before the war, peace. The crowd applauded. Lily clapped her hands, laughing. But Jack just stood there, stunned, staring at the old man. "You're strong," Jack admitted. The billionaire shook his head. "Not strong, just aligned. You carry weight that isn't yours anymore." Those words hit harder than any blow. Jack swallowed, his throat tight. The billionaire had seen it, the burden, the sleepless nights, the battles that never left his chest. When the spar ended, the old man placed a hand on Jack's shoulder and said, "You gave me your strength. Let me give you something in return." Jack thought he meant advice. But a week later, his life changed. The billionaire anonymously funded Lily's school tuition, connected Jack with a veterans foundation, and offered him a job teaching discipline and resilience at one of his wellness centers. It wasn't charity, it was dignity. The billionaire never once mentioned money. He only said, "A warrior's spirit is meant to protect, not to struggle alone." Months later, Jack stood in the same park, this time guiding a group of teenagers through Tai Chi. Lily sketched on the bench, smiling proudly at her dad. The old man watched from a distance, his hands clasped behind his back, content. The spar had lasted only minutes. But the harmony they found? That would last a lifetime. And perhaps that's the lesson. Sometimes, the wealthiest thing you can share with someone is not money or power, but peace. True strength isn't about defeating others. It's about lifting them up, finding harmony, and reminding them they're not alone. The park slowly emptied out that day, but Jack and Lily lingered. She ran up and wrapped her small arms around his waist. "Daddy, you looked happy," she said softly, her eyes searching his. Jack knelt down, brushing a loose strand of hair from her face. "I think I was, sweetheart. For the first time in a long while." He didn't have the words for it then, but something had shifted. The old man hadn't just invited him to spar, he'd invited him to breathe again. To see that not every battle needed fists or fire. Some battles were won by letting go. Later that night, as Jack tucked Lily into bed, she whispered, "Do you think we'll see him again?" Jack smiled. "Maybe. But even if we don't, what he gave us, we'll carry that forever." And she nodded as if she understood something far bigger than her years. Over time, Jack noticed changes in himself. His patience grew. The nightmares that once clawed at his sleep loosened their grip. And whenever life pressed hard, he remembered that quiet spar in the park, that dance of balance and grace. One morning, months later, Jack saw the old man again. This time, there was no crowd, no applause. Just the two of them beneath the trees. The billionaire raised his hand in a small wave. Jack bowed his head, not as a soldier to a superior, but as one man honoring another. A silent thank you passed between them, no words needed. In that moment, Jack realized something powerful. Sometimes, the greatest gifts come disguised as simple moments, an invitation, a lesson, a hand reaching out at the right time.